Well, hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good everything, wherever in the world you are. As you can see, it's load shedding. My face is all shiny and my cheeks all fat. Light shining directly on my face. Life in Africa. Anyway, we happy. And Tom, you were on mute, by the way, so you're about going
Yeah,
to take yourself off
yeah. I
mute.
didn't want to disrupt your
Oh,
intro.
okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, as you can tell, everybody, I have Mr. Tom Althouse in the house tonight. How are you, Tom? Welcome back. Good to see you again.
I'm good, determined, and we're getting a lot of ground, so it feels good. Doing my job.
You've always been doing your job for a long time. So, what job you doing right now?
Putting word out about certain individuals that are taking the mainstream scene and what their intentions are, basically fulfilling what the work started, the original work, the Matrix story. So everybody keeps talking about it now, going like, are we in a Matrix? What's where we? And they even put a white rabbit tattoos are showing in the mainstream media. I was just put into Huff Post recently too, and this is huge article which was trying to put transgender on the forefront, which my original work is also being used for. So it's like, wow. So I'm dealing with them totally changing it, where the Wachowskis are now saying years later.
Sorry, I want to chime in there. I want to just clarify that when you say that, when we're looking at this whole transgenderism agenda that's playing itself out, particularly in America, in a major way now. How are they using your original work for that? Can
Well,
you clarify that?
I intend to. So
Uh-huh.
Wachowski, when they had this work, this is again the 1998 version, and the actual pages are here where that occurs, where they got it from, and in the story, it actually is integral to the story moving forward, where he meets a young lady when he's cut from the program. Our Neo is cut from the program, and he goes and sees this young woman and has to hide out with her, right? And so on page 94, as the Wachowskis lifted every image they thought was cool, this is where the fire starts, and this is what happens to our young children, especially in America. So on page 94, I'm going to read you the one excerpt, which is where the Wachowskis and Warner Brothers decided to kick in the transgender issue. In the story, it says, Jim draws the curtains, which is the Neo. He sees Lorraine noticing the picture of Julie in his hand, which is used often throughout different remakes. Later, even Braveheart, the picture falls from the hand, and you always have the picture falling from the hand. Even in Black Sails, I told you about, the picture falls from Berenger's hand when he's killed. Berenger is the Smith agent in Immortals. So she says, Neo says she died many years ago. Lorraine says she's beautiful. Neo character says, Lorraine, if you will have me, I never want to go. A tear forms on Lorraine's cheek as she smiles. She turns away from him. Lorraine says, I won't blame you if you do. My classmates and I kept being raped. We made sure it could never happen again. Lorraine lifts her skirt and turns to Neo character, showing a mass of scar tissue between her legs. This is why we're left alone now. Neo character holds her. I would like to stay. Lorraine begins to cry. She kisses her softly. Lorraine pulls away. Lorraine, don't let me do this to you. Jim embraces Lorraine gently and brushes the hair from her eyes. There are many ways to show affection. Lorraine looks back. So what you have here is a tender scene which talks about the horror children, young people, or she's a young woman, are going through because of the whole programming that's happening, especially in the US. So it's warning you what's coming in the New World Order. And so that's what it's doing. It's a tender scene, which then is taken by the Wachowskis and Warner Brothers for their agenda of transgender. And they lift it out as they did all the other scenes, like Jack's the Neck, like they said on Do For Real, the little girl's train station. They lift it out and they perverse it. They make it, which is my way of saying reverse and pervert it. So they perverse it and simplify it and turn it into, they said that now, Larry says now, well, the Matrix story, the Immortals, they took the letters Mortals and put an X on it. No copyright in the Matrix, only the Immortals preceding the Matrix. In fact, Dina Laurentiis, as we said, copyrighted the Immortals title, the one that did Assassins with the Wachowskis, not Matrix, the Immortals. So what you have is, Larry's now saying, now, in hindsight, years later, well, the story was meant to be about transgender. Why didn't you say that when it first came out? Why are you waiting years later to say, oh, by the way, it's meant to be that? Because that's the Warner Bros. Agenda. So they've taken this work with a tender scene that was supposed to be talking about the plight our young people face and what extremes they have to go to it, and encourage people to put white rabbits on their shoulders and to deny themselves even have push for pre-adolescents to go through it. So my work was supposed to help children, protect them from these things. They took the work and used it to encourage children to be victims of mutilation and things like that. So that's one of the things I'm talking about. Now, we just learned today Elon Musk is taking Twitter and is going to make everything an X. It's going to be x.com. He's going to get rid of the whole bird symbolism and stuff like this and make it a platform that handles everything. Well, that's also in here. Everything's done through your Neuralink and everything else. What made Elon Musk rich and notable was the tech in here. Neuralink is not his idea. It comes from this also. So when the story was lifted, they gave the storyline to Wachowskis and others. They gave the tech to people like Elon Musk to make him famous and powerful and influential. And that's what they tell me in these interviews or calls I get from Disney attorneys and such. They were afraid of me being influential. So Elon Musk takes my place as the tech side. The Wachowskis become influential to harm children and others through the story side. There's a lot of layers here. So what you have is you commandeer not only the tech, the ideas in the story, but also the tech. Now, Elon Musk came to power, basically was introduced, I think through Variety or Vanity Fair in 1999, basically, when Matrix comes out. That's the 1998 version. In 1999, when it comes out, that's when you first see him really coming on the scene at a wedding function, where they're also introducing the Wachowskis as successful for the story. Elon Musk is also introduced at the same time, not noted by many, for the tech to come. And now it's all changed into X. So when they took and this is all told to me by the inside. So when the Immortals title, where they said this was revolutionary, when Bonaventure heard it from Warner Brothers, the exec from Warner Brothers had me pitch it to him. So the Immortals title, as you see here, the Immortals title is switched around with the letters to make Matrix. So they're all there, isn't it? With the X, the X added. So you get MATR, all that there, and then add the X. This was all done on purpose to prove the public's not smart and to put it right in plain sight. See? And they told me in the process of this, and it's in Black Sales also, they told me that every individual is two people. We're all a dichotomy. And I am not being real to who I'm supposed to be. I'm trying to be this good, nice guy when I need to be designed to be, which is this dark leader. So they keep using the phrase "come home, come home," and so I was groomed to be a dark leader. And since I didn't acquiesce and decide, they said, "This is me. I have a good heart. I have empathy." That's why they keep saying Tom's evil. Tom's evil. Sophia Stewart, the rest of them that were employed by them to say it, he's evil to try to bring Tom home to be the face of the Christian coalition and do evil. See what's going on here? So they invested a lot in that. So in this series, it talks about that if you want to be successful, you cannot let your real self be known. You have to create a story about yourself. Keanu Reeves, the rest of them have done this.
So the story that we're talking that they say you create, we understand so well is what often happens, as you say, in the system with these people creating their cover lives. So we're looking at people like, let's say, Keanu Reeves, who is, and I'm sorry, I'm very disappointed to hear this about Keanu. I have to say, he's been groomed very well to be the very attractive, shy, nice guy who does all these amazing deeds for humanity and animals and stuff like that. Okay, so what is the real story then? What is the real story? Because what they're saying is if you want to be successful, create a cover story for the world and be what? The truth of who you are behind the scenes? Is that what they're saying?
They give you the story. They give you the story that is you.
So you've got to fit their narrative.
Yeah, they tell you what to be. They provide you who you marry. They provide you who you're with. They provide you where you go, what events you do, and what you say.
Yeah.
and then they promise you the wealth and everything. So Keanu Reeves is actually a party guy who kids around, messes around, and like George Carlin said, he knew him personally, and on set, knew him, and on set he would smack the butts of the other guys and kid around and clown around, and then he'd get up and just do the shot without doing the homework. He's a party guy. He hangs out with his biker friends, drinks, drugs, you name it, and parties. He is not a shy guy at all, and he's not somebody who's interested in benevolence. He's interested in drinking, doing drugs, and having the best sex he can have. So it's not what you see. Yet that is that they want people who have the double story, right?
Mm.
And one of the interesting theories they had about this actor strike going on, a young woman did a great job on this. She said that what a lot of the performers are afraid of is that all the dirt on them, because they film these behind the scenes actual activities. If you saw what Keanu Reeves does behind the scenes that's been on record, released, they could destroy him in a day. They have a phrase inside: if we made you, we can break you. That is a phrase passed around inside, I've been told about, right? So
Yeah,
if you
for
can do
sure.
what they want, yeah. So a lot of these guys are in Black Sails too. I want to point this out. In Black Sails, they say they have the silver character who's supposed to be this nice guy doing all this bad and never letting his story known, like Elon Musk never knows real story. You're not supposed to. So they have the fabricated story, and he says the problem. He says once you go down the dark path and choose darkness, he says the problem of not being able to resurface from it ever is because it, quote, feels too good.
Mm.
So, yeah.
That's that feels too good. I mean, it's that absolute instant gratification, right? So it's like, let's party, let's take the best drugs, hot woman, hot men, whatever you're after.
Yeah.
By all accounts, there's the younger version of humanity there as well. I'm not going to be too graphic about that, but I think we all understand what happens at these parties when those of us are watching these shows. So yeah, there's that instant gratification, the selling of the soul, right?
I was brought into
So
these parties. I was at these parties. I know what goes on. I know what goes on.
spill
And
some
that's
beans
more
for
to it.
us, Tom.
What's
Spill
that?
some beans. What goes on there? Tell us a story.
Group sex is very much underage sex is very much they have young people who come in that are will push themselves towards you. They are groomed, and it's not this thing of caged children. It is well educated, groomed, brilliant youth that are selected to be consorts, and they will approach you sometimes in groups, and they
What
will
age
be
are we talking here? When you say underage,
I'm
what?
talking anywhere from 12 to 14 years old. And these organizations then adopt it, such as organizations I've been with, such as SSE, Shenandoah Shakespeare Express, right there in Virginia. They have these young people come in on these camps, and they are then sleeping with the actors and everything else. And the director, this Jim Warren, the director of SSE, said, I just want my actors to be happy. You go to MAPA on Maui, Maui Academy of Performing Arts. I was part of that for 5 years, that group. And underage sex is happening all the time. That youth are taught 12, 14, such as that, the arts. But then you have these guys in charge that again say, what did David Johnson say on Maui, who runs that Maui Academy of Performing Arts for youth, right? Young children. He said that the different pedophiles that were brought in to operate, right? He says, I'm not going to do anything about it when the managers brought it forward about the underage sex going on, even during breaks in the show. He said, because these guys get me bookings. So that's David Johnson.
Just, it's just one big nefarious club.
Everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you what Joel Silver did. Joel Silver, who was the producer of the ripped off version of my work, right? What did Joel Silver do? Joel Silver, who's with Harvey Weinstein and Mike Lang and the rest of them. What did he do with David Johnson at MAPA? Look up MAPA on Maui. What did he do for him as he kept the pedophile ring going? Extension of Hollywood? What he did was he allowed his daughter, Annika Johnson, to be named as a lead character in Bates Motel. Bates Motel is owned by Joel Silver's franchise. Bates Motel. What character was David Johnson's daughter, Annika Johnson? A very unique name, isn't it? Annika Johnson? How many Annika Johnsons are there? She became the name of one of Joel Silver's prostitutes, lead prostitutes in the film at a pivotal point. That's a thank you. So they put your names in the films of your own children as a thank you for being part of the pedophile ring, which David Johnson is on Maui. Is that something? And another thing he did, watch this. This shows you how much this is connected. So what you have is with David Johnson's situation on Maui, and I lost everything with him going forward on that. I want to show you something right here. So Joel Silver didn't just allow Annika Johnson, David Johnson's daughter, to have that name, which says something, doesn't it? He allows his daughter to be represented as a prostitute. David Johnson also had this man. Now let's look at the words on this. David Johnson is backed by Joel Silver's main guy and Spielberg's main guy, used for bringing people down. See the name Marcus Bradley? I don't know if you can see it, Marcus Bradley. Marcus Bradley is actually Bradley Marcus. Bradley Marcus is this man, Marcus Bradley. Now, let me finish this one because this is connected at the highest level, and I'll tell you how. So we have David Johnson on Maui of Mappa, having himself and other people like Mark Colmer and people like this, who was from Philadelphia, where I was, having sex with underage kids. All right. Meanwhile, this guy surfaces, who's under Joel Silver, Bradley Marcus of the Marcus Brothers, who is listed as a writer for Joel Silver, is in charge of Saturn Awards, part of the Saturn Awards. That was the award given to the Wachowskis for Matrix. Saturn Award. So this man is writing this. The truth, Mr. Matrix, Althouse, Summers, Heart Tours, Egomaniac, is that you are a fraud and a phony who bamboozled the entire populace of Maui into seeing you as a decent person. I was fighting for the children. I said it was wrong about what was going on with the children. You have defiled me and the great Mappa. You need to cease and desist and leave my dear friend David Johnson alone. This is Joel Silver and Spielberg's main man saying David Johnson's their friend, leave him alone. Isn't that something? So what you have is when this IP address right here was being researched, because it's one time that they slipped up and had the IP address, the Pentagon shut down the researching of this address. The Pentagon in the US shut down the researching of Joel Silver and Spielberg's guy, who was connected to David Johnson, because David Johnson was doing the work on Maui of the pedophile ring. Can you believe this? And how do I know it was shut down? Because a friend of mine in Canada, under Trudeau's administration, he was being having cars pulling up and everything in his house, and was part of my copyright holder, protect my family from. He had a friend at the Pentagon researching this IP address on Spielberg and Joel Silver's guy on the slip with the David Johnson and Mappa grave. And so what happened was a top brass came in and said, you stop right what you're doing right now at the Pentagon, which talks about surveillance, things like this. And why did the brass want to shut down an IP address on some schmuck when this is actually not even a real person? It's a reverse. Marcus Bradley is actually Bradley Marcus. And that's something. So look at the connection that this works worldwide with rewards being given to losers like David Johnson, small mom pop shop on Maui, doing a pedophile ring on children, employing pedophiles. And that's how far this goes. So you wonder if the worldwide pedophile ring is not entrenched at every level of society. It certainly is. And I'm involved. I was brought into a couple of ones and watched it happen. I didn't agree with it. I was the only one that said it was wrong. Everybody else was like benefiting from it. I had actor friends that were sleeping with the 14-year-olds. And they talked about this guy who took my place at SSE, Shenandoah Shakespeare Express, who then had this, they said, toured affair with this beautiful young girl who's 14 years old. A toured affair. And he's still there working all these years later at Shenandoah Shakespeare Express. Why? Because Jim Warren and Ralph Cohen wanted him to be happy. I want that to sink in. This is a very active pedophile sex ring through Hollywood down to every small pawn shop out there across our planet. Very active. And the main heading for justifying it, I just want our performers to be happy. Now you have an actor's strike. The theory is the actor's strike may be going on right now because the actors are afraid of being revealed, some of them. Because right now they're trying to clamp down on the word getting out, because we are getting traction on the word out, because the original work is starting to get its influence back. People are asking
Yeah.
to see the film the way it was actually, and they're going to see how that transgender thing started, where it's actually a warning to save our kids, not to exploit them in the original work.
Yeah.
So what's going on right now is what you're making possible too, is causing them to even have actor strikes. Because the actors are concerned that have bought into the system that they're going to be revealed. Some of this dirt stuff's going to surface on some of them. That this dirt is going to be shown.
Yes, part of how they kind of the brotherhood, the secret brotherhood system is that they literally they have to keep the brother's secret. So it is a known fact that they get filmed committing sometimes murder,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Oh, yeah.
child acts of terror,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. They have all of that stuff on film, and it's archived wherever they archive it. So whenever they need to keep someone in line, they threaten them and
That's it.
blackmail them with this. So, and good men and good women
I had
have
good
been
friends.
caught
Yeah.
up and forced, but literally forced at gunpoint to do things to children, to make snuff films, to do stuff like that while they're being filmed, and they're forced to do it. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Like I'm telling you, they do it at the parties. There'll be parties where they're brought and these underage kids are drinking with these adults that are pedophiles, like David Johnson and Mark Homer on Maui, or Jim Warren's group, SSE, who got all these awards from Virginia. They get all these
This,
awards from the state while they're doing all these tremendous, terrible things. And it's like,
they've been doing. They've been doing. Sorry, Tom. They've been doing this since forever, though. What was that? Was it the Shirley Temple movie, or was it the? I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not really good with these things because I'm not a great movie goer.
no,
But
I'm
I
not
know Brooke Shields, Pretty Baby. She was a child prostitute, and
right.
if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Shirley Temple also something like that?
Yeah,
So
Blackmail.
they've been promoting this for a very long time. I mean, Brooke
Yes.
Shields is my age, and I remember her doing these very suggestive movies, at a very, very young age. And I saw her do an interview the other day, and she's very proud of it and feels it's art, you know.
Let me give you
Um,
an example. What happens with these children are what kind of pressure they're given, right? Now, picture yourself. This is Mark Homer on Maui. I'm going to focus on an example that I'm going to stick to. So anybody can look up Annika Johnson in Bates Motel and see the character there as a prostitute. Anybody can see Annika Johnson is David Johnson's daughter of Mappa on Maui. Check it out. From Joel Silver, right? This is what's going on. These head moguls and the agencies in America are facilitating this along with England. And so what was Mark Homer's direction as he had sex with a 14-year-old between his directing skin? And I'm told that what he told a young 14-year-old couple, a boy and a girl who were cast in a show with him, right? What do you tell them for his direction? Now get this. Think of the pressure from the standpoint of the child. A young 14-year-old girl, a young 14-year-old boy are on set with Mark Homer, identified pedophile. And what happens is he's got his baseball cap on, he's trying to look cool. And the scene comes up for a kissing scene, right? So what does he tell the young boy with the young girl what to do? And it kills me to say it. Here's Mark Homer's direction from Maui under David Johnson's blessing, because he gets some bookings. Just grope her. Just grope her. Just grope her.
that's like kind of like the norm. It's absolutely, it's the norm.
And if
Yeah.
you point it out, if you say it's wrong, you are fired. If you laugh at it and let the girl be groped, you're promoted. David Johnson on Maui.
Yeah. I've got just Al is asking a question here. Tom, do you know Fran? Is it Drescher or Dreschner? Dreschler. That actress. I've seen her. Do you know Fran Dreschler? She had that sitcom called Fran, I think it was a number of years ago.
I've not met her. No.
Okay.
I've had a number of actors and performers stepping up and saying they'd even help me get this through because they didn't believe anybody would actually step up and see this through because of what you go through when they trash you, when they cut you down for standing up and how they mock you for standing up for the kids. But I don't know Fran. So, but I'll tell you what, I don't regret doing what I've done, even though it cost me everything I had. I thought if I take the full blunt of their wrath, all these pedophile people, then I would urge people, the SSE tours, don't book them, don't go to their shows. I don't care if they're being in Stanton, Virginia, and being promoted by all these things. It is a pedophile ring. It's a pedophile ring. So we need to stop supporting these organizations that work with our young people, especially in performance, that are enabling the groping, the things that are going on. When one of the things we had, there was a pond or something we go to, right? And I didn't know what was going on at first. I was like, let's just go out to the pond in the SSE group. And they have these locations. They'll have locations you go to, and these underage people would go, and then everybody's supposed to take their clothes off and go together in the swimming pools. This is the culture of the performance world, right? This is it. Casting couch. We're way beyond casting couch in the Hollywood world and all across performances across the world. We're way beyond the casting couch. We're in the casting pools. And what these poor children, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Smart, bright, groomed, beautiful people.
They are, and and as you say, it's become the culture. Sorry, guys, my lights just got off. I'm going to try and fix it. I was like a gorilla in the mist.
You're an agitator and troublemaker, and you get fired if you if you even say it's not right for underage children to be molested by people like Mark Comer. SSE, I was canned. And the guy who replaced me had the torrid affair with a young 14-year-old named Lauren. And that guy just did an article how great it was to, him and his wife, and she was the seamstress for SSE, and how he had this great life there for years and years. Well, he was molesting children.
Are the wives aware of this in many instances?
Yeah, they accept it as part of the culture. That's a great question. The wives
Are they involved often? Are they involved?
Sometimes they're involved in the group activity. Yes. In fact, when I was with the honeypot wife, I've never mentioned this one. When I was with the honeypot wife, Rebecca Lynn, she suggested that we have group sex with other people in the industry, other women.
Wow.
Even brought them home. That's the culture when they were grooming me to be on the inside. Yeah. Yeah.
It's all about money, power, sex, isn't it? And how much drugs you can have and who's got the best drugs. And yeah.
The girls in the industry are often taught, even by their moms a lot of times, that, honey, the casting couch is the way up. They're actually taught, go ahead and give in, because the real power of the woman is the ability to wield her influence and attraction. What a reduced society that is. What a demeaning way of viewing ourselves and our interactions with each other. And
absolutely.
God help us. I would get slapped in the face at these parties by women that I said, no, I don't want to do that. I would have a phrase I would say all the time: I don't want to hurt you. I don't want this to go on. I don't want to be part of that. It's like, because I insulted them. The women making themselves available, or a group. You walk through the parties. Yeah, you walk through the parties and they'll say, hey, we're doing strip poker. Hey, we're going to go out to the pool. Hey, we're going to, and it's like, but beyond the sex is the exploitation of what's going on. So, and any actor that steps forward and says what's going on there, you risk all this stuff coming up. They can say you did this, did that. I didn't see anybody stand strong. When I was in these circles and you could see it affected me. I never saw anybody stand strong.
But Tom, these kids don't just get there by themselves, right? These kids are getting there through their parents. Their parents are either part of the system, or they have been bought, or who drops a 12 or 14-year-old child off at a Hollywood party without an adult escort or trusted one?
Fair statement, fair thought. But keep in mind this way. Let's look at SSE again. I want to use these examples. At Jim Warren and Ralph Cohen's organization, SSE in Stanton, look them up. What you have is they do these gifted summer camps. And get this, now look at the structure, where the actors that are engaging in underage sex become the mentors of the young, gifted kids, 14 and such, coming in. See the setup? It's a spider's web. So the
Yeah.
actors, what Jim Warren say, can be happy. Way to go, Jim Warren. So what happens is the parents don't know. They're sending they are flattered to send their kids, these beautiful, gifted kids. It's funny that to be beautiful. Beautiful, gifted kids, these summer camps. Now, what would the pedophiles do to react to what I'm saying? You know what they would do? They would try to get the testimony of former kids to say, "Oh, no, we were treated right. No, no." Part of the pressure system to shut it down. They have in place what to do. And so I think that's why there's an actor strike too, is that unless the group makes a move, nothing's going to change. I was to be made an example. My work was taken. When was my work taken? 1999. Where was I in 1999? Shenandoah Shakespeare Express doing international tours. Watching this go on. You make the connection? In 1999, when this was made, it's being taken away from me the same time my jobs are being taken away at SSE for saying about the pedophile ring. Is it clicking?
Yeah,
So this goes to the
absolutely.
Wachowskis. I lose my tours. I lose my income, housing, everything because I said you shouldn't rape an underage child or children. That actors shouldn't be doing that. Jim, what's your answer, Jim Warren? I want my actors to be happy. Ralph Cohen, step in. He wants his actors to be happy. David Johnson on Maui at Mappa. What's your answer? He gets me good bookings.
It's one big intricate web. And, I'm just looking at some of the comments here as well, and I think this is a combination of what we're looking, as I always said, Hollywood is just one big feeding frenzy machine, right?
And its tentacles are all through levels of society to even the local acting places where it's become common, acceptable things to do this with children.
Yeah, but it's like kids from Disney. You look at like the likes of Britney Spears, you look at Christina, you look at Justin, those crowd. I mean, they start off being these. The latest one is that cute little one that did that Wednesday, whatever the latest one.
Right.
She went all goth. I don't know what her name is. Sorry, I've just seen her once or twice. But it's like they start off being these cute child stars. But now you look at Britney and you look at her, like where she is now, and we look back. It's obvious she was sold by her dad into the system at a very, very young age. Who knows? Maybe she was born into it. I don't know. But then you look at them and you see how they progress from these cute child stars and then suddenly become completely sexualized when they get to their late teens, early 20s type thing, and they're kind of budding, and suddenly this cute exterior kind of transforms into this vamp, that has now become the puppet. So they've got that entire following. If you think about, we know that Hollywood is all about puppets and mind control. All those actors and actors, if you've been watching Jesse Zabotar stuff especially, we know how they use the different forms of mind control, the monarch, the whatever it is. There's so many of them, right? So these actors and actresses, especially the ones that have come from being child stars, have got an entire following. I mean, if you look at Britney Spears' following, she's what, 40 odd now, from when she was 6. So for the last 36 years, right, people have been following her. They've been subjected to what they've wanted us or the kids to be subjected to.
That's right. That's right. You're molested at a young age. I was. And it's a group. And so what happens is there's a terror and a horror. But then what they say to you, what did Pat Robertson's guy say to me when I was drugged and assaulted on his trip in his motorhome, right? What happened? He told me it's not that bad, and for himself, he said before he did this, he said he was been alone on a Wisconsin farm. He only had the animals to play for. He was raped. This is Dr. Sova, who's now at Falwell University, Jerry Falwell's University, Liberty University, in the communications department. Dr. Harry Sova. So he's telling me that he was only child in Wisconsin, only had the animals to play with, was raped on Boy Scout situation where the popular kids, boys, raped him. And I said, it must have been horrible. He said, no, it wasn't that bad. I was lonely. I was accepted. So he's trying to justify it. And then he said that 1 out of every 4 men are, as far as Robertson's sexual ring that was going on. Isn't it interesting? He went to his grave with that sexual ring never exposed. When it was the Kempsville Presbyterian Church pastor that came forward and said he had sex with Robertson and also is head of his school. And told it to a 2,000 member congregation where they shut it down with David Geyertson, the PR person for Robertson, shutting it down and becoming the interim pastor at that Kempsville Presbyterian Church for a year to shut it down. So no one talks about it. They put this pressure on parents and others not to talk about it. Let's settle this up outside, you know. And so what's interesting is with Pastor Anderson coming forward, David Anderson coming forward and saying that this happened to his congregation as confession, that's why they named Neo Thomas A. Anderson. So what I'm telling you is that all the work, everything in this piece that was given for God's glory, right? Where now they're saying it's a sci-fi Christian film. No, it's not. The Christ comes in at the end as the tie-up for it. It was written to give glory for God, yeah. But it's not. No, this is a story about mind control, one world society, Neuralink, things like that. That's what this is about. They're trying to change it so it's not matching with the Matrix. But that's why they see this in the industry as the biggest threat to turning everything around, because I was whispering through art. I was called to whisper through art exactly what's happening right now in every aspect, including what you're talking about, mind control, Neuralinks, everything. It's all right here. It's all right here. So I had been on the inside. I whispered through art. I lost everything, and I'm made to be an example. Inside the industry, say you don't want to end up like Tom Althouse. I was made to be the example. And that's why in Black Sails with Lionsgate, when I was being held in Canada 2018, it has everything in there. Behringer, the main agent, Smith, is Behringer, original work. Behringer, made up character. Dooley, the architect's sidekick, Dooley, Dooley, is in The Immortals. Main character thrown in here. Oliver thrown in, my cat's name. Parker and Graves together in one little scene, thrown in fictitious characters. Parker and Graves thrown in. Parker and Graves were Harry Sova, the man who perpetrated on me, his friends that were part of his information meeting, may have me lose everything in the beginning with Robertson. Graves and Parker thrown in. On and on and on and on it goes. Boyd, the submitting attorney. It's all thrown in here by Lionsgate, connected to Disney, Warner Brothers, Sony, Universal Studios, all thrown together in here, and then they give you the lessons. And that's where it gets so scary, where they say the real problem when you go, or what they celebrate, when you get in the darkness, when you really get in the darkness, it's wonderful, because when you get in the darkness, the reason you'll never leave is because it feels too good. Wow. So when the kids are sent to these summer camps at SSE, when the kids are sent to MAPA, Maui County Performing Arts on Maui, even at local levels, when they're sent to these groups, the kids are being taught that it feels so good you won't want to leave the darkness.
Yeah, exactly.
Have sex with Mark Colmer. Have sex with David
And it's
Johnson.
sex magic. You know, they use all sorts of the programming as well, you know, like the whole sex magic, the rituals and stuff. I mean, a lot of these kids are...
glue. You're right. It's the gum and glue. Once you're in, shame over your head. What if your parents find out? A torrid affair by the guy married to the seamstress at SSE. A torrid affair with a 14-year-old who happened to be the daughter of one of the VMI professors, a very testosterone level organization, right? VMI, Virginia Military Institute, long, beautiful, proud history. That wonderful professor, wonderful man, his daughter was the one that was brought in at 14 with a torrid affair with Jim Warren's man, who was brought in to play Hamlet initially and all this other stuff, and it's still there. Unbelievable. So they're not going to jail. They're being successful. And it's a whole big club. And what really infuriates me is the women that are involved in it. Not the children, but the women that laugh it off and have it happen. In Germany, in World War II, when Berlin fell, when the Russians came in World War II, there's a scene, there's an actual historic account, which happened all through Berlin, rape was just rampant. The poor German women were raped. They didn't deserve that. No one does. No humanity deserves this. So the Russian soldiers en masse were marching along on the way to Berlin. And I'm affected by it. I'm glad I'm affected by it. And all these young German women with their kids, refugees, were on the road. And the Russian soldiers decided en masse to rape them all. Little kids were pushing the soldiers off their moms, being shot in the head. And the women that were there, that were Russian, were laughing as the women were raped. And in Berlin, there's a statue to honor the Russian soldiers that went to Berlin. The German population talks about how it's a monument to the rapists. We are a sick world with sick people running it. I whispered through art to try to make a difference. I lost everything. My 2 sons murdered. But I'm mocked by Sophia Stewart, who was employed by Warner Brothers to be a first claimant. I'm mocked in the courts where they took my rights away with an attorney who had a suspended license who was classmates with Warner Brothers. So all you hear is he lost his case. Did I really? The matchups in here? Tony Rankin on Maui, the last thing he did after he was fired, within half an hour, he sent me an email, the audacity to send me an email after he's fired, that he said within that half hour after he's fired, I contacted Warner Brothers and you're supposed to have a meeting, but I let a phone call suffice for the meeting and told them to proceed to summary judgment without objections, which means you've lost. Every matchup, everything thrown in, high school, birthday, you name it, Jackson Neck, everything given to Elon Musk was just thrown. And now I hear all the time, he lost his case. He lost his case. This world is sick. It's backwards. We make celebrities out of garbage who abuse kids and took the work. It's time to wake the hell up. And meanwhile, those of us that actually did the right thing are being killed one by one and watching our sons die. Why? Why am I still alive? Now they're accusing me of being still alive, as she's still alive is a fraud. I'm a frickin' alive because they're saying that it's a walking, living dead for me to be alive because all my loved ones are gone. Except for my last son, they said will keep me in line by being alive because they say get to him anytime they want. Do you see what's going on? I'm alive because it's living hell to be alive. And I'm an example for others that way. That's why I'm alive. That's why I'm alive. But you know what? I'm going to teach people there's still beauty in that life. It's still worth it being alive. There's still hope.
I'm loving some of the comments that that some of the people are giving you here, Tom. Says, Tom, you have everything still. God bless you. And Terry says, you've lost evil and gained life. And that's so true, you know. These are the kind of things that we like the phoenix, we rise again, you know. And it's like there's a beautiful Mexican proverb that says, you know, they thought they could bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds.
You're right. And together, I appreciate it so much. And together, we can reclaim what God gave us to right our world. And this is part of it. They say now this is a documentary. It's a prophecy. And what's really wild is everything in this is coming true, from fake Oval Office to you name it. It doesn't give me an ego like Sophia Stewart's thing that's coming out with her minions now. They're coming at me hard now. You know, fraud, liar, loser, whatever. They just throw it. But the thing is that Sophia Stewart's company is called All Eyes on Me. Well, wow. That sounds ego. Isn't it crazy? They burn themselves. They make their own nooses. But in this is everything's coming true. From Jacks to the Neck to the exploitation and how they do it, to the one world society and how maybe we can make a good one if that's what's going to happen. Maybe we can at least try to make it a good one if it's no choice for us. And what the plans are for the final solution, how they never ended what they started in Germany. It's all there. And what is the other side saying? We're fans of your work. All the studios tell me, we all know you made it. It's common knowledge you made it. Come home. Come home. Be a script doctor in Hollywood. You'll have fortune. Your son will be safe. It'll be good for your family. You'll be safe. And we know you wrote it. The public's too stupid to get it. That's what they tell me. So come home to us and be the other person you're supposed to be. The dark one that doesn't care about humanity. I'm supposed to turn my back on you, everybody out here, and say that you don't matter because you didn't get it, you didn't care. And I'm going to go ahead and be successful to protect my last son and make it in the world with what I earned, and the hell with the rest of you. What? What? No, I will not. Each of us are worth it. Each of us. And you know who matters most? They're saying about what lives matter? The innocent matter. I wish there was a shirt. Innocent lives matter.
Yeah.
More than any. And that goes right back to the pedophile rate. And I'm fighting for the innocent. That's what I'm going to do. I'll never turn my back on the innocent. And I lost my jobs. MAPA, taken away. And they even went so far as to try to tell everybody never to use me again. Colonial Williamsburg, Rockefeller Group, took my jobs away because I did the same thing, told never to ever use me again. Shenandoah Shakespeare Express, Jim Warren, Ralph Cohen, getting all those awards for Virginia, took my jobs away and never ever used me again because I stood up for the innocent. And on it goes. Grand Wailea, Hilton Group, working in the Camp Grande, took my job away because I stood up for the innocent and rewarded those that were there. On and on it goes. On and on it goes. It's time that this turns around. And those of us that have the wherewithal and the kindness start to retain our positions, and our work is reclaimed to get the message across. I'm going to be so excited when the Immortals is actually made. And people see it was really there. And they'll see how the Matrix story lifted everything out, and along with these other things. You know that, and thank you for the comments too, from the heart. Joel Silver did Altered Carbon. Altered Carbon is the rich people in the future have immortality. The poor uses pawns, and said it was the greatest sci-fi concept ever in the history of sci-fi or the world in film. In the story, the very first page of the story treatment says, the rich in the future have immortality, the poor uses pawns. Yet in Joel Silver's situation with this, when they threw the case, they said it was a mundane concept. As soon as he steals it and gets away with it, has all my notes and drafts, Altered Carbon comes out. Rich in the future have immortality, poor uses pawns. Greatest sci-fi concept ever, whenever it suits their need. What they're most afraid of is a good story. And now the inside is saying, my story, my life story, or my son's died, is the greatest story. This is Hollywood saying that. So they want me to come home and make my story, cleansing their part out.
Tom, you've got an amazing amount of support here from everyone in the chat. I don't know if you can see it where you are. All I know is that you've come through a lot of stuff and you're with us. You're making a huge difference in the world. I look forward to what we're going to be doing in the future when we talk about the, not once we're out the matrix, so to speak. Many of us are getting out of it more and more every day, right?
Yeah.
But it's really understanding that creativity is your most powerful fuel for success and living the artist, right? And
Right.
we've so been taught that creative art is taboo in many ways. Being an artist, you're going to be poor, this sort of thing, except of course if you're in Hollywood. And I think so much of that has been deprived. So many people have been deprived of that because of exactly the reasons you're talking. I mean, you one of the few, the only one I know that's really stepping forward and speaking about these things, especially on the Hollywood level.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many people that have lost their work in the way that you have. Mm-hmm. And people need to find their voices. People need to stand up. People need to follow the path that you're opening up. Talk about what it is. Expose these guys, because the minute that we actually, the more we expose it, the less power there is, the less power they have over us, right?
Right.
So, and
That's
then the
right.
more people discover their own creativity, because we are all creative geniuses. You're a creative genius. And I think one thing you can teach us is to bring out the creative genius within ourselves as well. And
That's
when
my
there's a world
total
full of,
intention.
yeah,
The total intention, because like I said, when this is made and we get our rights back, which we will. I mean, the matchups, the inserted material. We even found my fiance's birthday at the time is Neo's birthday. Why they double name Neo? Thomas A. and Neo? Why you double name a lead character? You're not supposed to do that. That's basic 101 film school. You don't do it. But in this, when this is one, like I said, I'm going to give this copyright to every man, woman, and child, that then they can do their own work. And Hollywood doesn't want that right now. They don't want it. They keep screaming, don't do it, don't do it. So when we get our influence back, I'm giving the copyright and the material to every man, woman, and child to encourage creativity. Do your take
yeah,
on it. I can't wait to watch your version of it. Instead of claiming it and stealing, and that was what's supposed to happen to Mickey Mouse, even in Disney when they started all this. Disney actually was the one that started intellectual property ripoff, because they made it that Disney would have a lifelong, beyond lifetime ownership of Mickey Mouse rights. It was supposed to be given over to the public at a certain point, and that's how copyright's supposed to work, to encourage creativity. I'm going to bring that back. I hope others follow suit. So when this is done, I got
well,
16 other screenplays that are better than that's even. So I'm going to allow others to own this work. And that'll encourage creativity. I can't wait to see their versions of it. And Hollywood is screaming at that right now. Disney's like, don't do that. You can't do that. Yes, I can. It's going to be your own material. You will own Matrix. Anyone listening, you will own the Matrix. Do whatever you want with it. Express yourself. Knock yourselves out. Make it into a dance party. You will own it. And no one's going to say anything about it because I'm the one that created it. They named the character after me. They put my high school.
I've got a question here. Paul Bays is asking, Tom, do you enjoy writing or performing more? Interesting question. I don't think we've ever asked you that before.
That's a great question. And the answer would be it's a blend where you enjoy it both. It's layered together, because when you're performing, your mind's thinking about writing. When you're writing, you're thinking about performing, and it helps fuel both of those aspects. And so really it is, do I enjoy art? And I do. And so I try to create a masterwork in every medium since I was young: painting, sculpting, drawing, music. In fact, when this was submitted, look at the bottom of the page. There's music attached. My music with my writing, with the visuals. When I write, it's visuals, and I perform it out while I'm writing it in my mind. So it's
Beautiful.
a great question. The answer is I enjoy art. And the artistic process as it flows incorporates music with performance, with writing, conceptualizing going on at the same time. So that's what's so beautiful. It's like looking at the universe with all its colors, and you have a paintbrush that has all the colors steeped on it at the same time while you're creating. So if that suffices as the answer, that's what I feel is the answer.
I think it's a brilliant answer. Answer. You say answer, I say answer.
Oh.
Answer. Cool.
Part of my situation is I tightened up when I talk about certain, like you'll see this, when I talk about certain experiences like the suffering of the children. And so my words then will come out in a tightened form. So answer instead of answer. Yeah.
Answer.
Answer. Anyway, but I want to tell you too why this is here. I ordered that because I want people to get the idea that we are to be a shield for the children. A shield.
Yeah.
More than
Absolutely.
ever. So,
and guys,
sorry.
on that note, I just want to talk about, if you're talking about being a shield for the children, I don't know if you remember, we had Gloria Masters on. There's a hand signal that's launched for kids, by the way, which is this. So if you see kids in trouble, if kids are doing this, it means they're being trafficked. So let's keep this hand signal alive. If you know this hand signal, if you see a child doing it, means they're in trouble.
I'd like to just on that note, you just gave me something so good off that. That's so important with that hand signal. I think it's a brilliant idea for the hand signal.
Yeah.
Anybody, if you can, out there that knows me or is part of the Hollywood scene, start videoing the Hollywood parties. You can have these little cameras that are not even noted. Start doing it. Start videoing the camera. Let's send a chill. Even the thought of it happening will send a chill through Hollywood. If you're at MAPPA, start filming the MAPPA parties. If you're at the SSE, start filming the SSE parties. Start filming them local level. Start filming in the Hollywood. Start filming wherever you are. Start filming the parties. And
let the technology backfire on them. Just like they're spying on us, we'll spy on them.
Just the thought of it is going to send chills. Believe me, the cowardly ones are the ones running the show. They're the ones that are most afraid. Look what happened with the head of Warner Brothers that had been there 3 decades. That lady ran for the hills. It's the same day my website was struck because we were starting to make some sense coming forward about this and everything. So she ran, and when my website was struck, and when Sophia Stewart, who claims to be the Mother Matrix, put in place by Warner Brothers, in-house witch, she contacts me that very day too to tell me my website's been struck. So it was concerted effort. So what I'm saying is, they're more cowardly than we are. They'll run for the hills. They're used to easy imaging, like Keanu Reeves. I'm sorry to bust the bubble, but who really is? Partier. He's a party guy. He's a frat boy with his biker friends. So what happens is that image they craft, and note that anything shown on the mainstream media, I've said this before, but the mainstream media, if it grooms and shows someone so much, so well, they are on the inside being groomed for a purpose. It wasn't the Wachowskis that picked Keanu Reeves to be Neo. It was the suits at Warner Brothers that demanded he be Neo to raise his career further because he was part of the pedophile scene. Let that sink in. It was the suits at Warner Brothers that insisted Keanu Reeves get the gold mine by being Neo. That tells you what's going on. Snowden in Russia, when he does productions, well-groomed, music in the background, lots of cuts. I know how the editing, people in the business will see how expensive the editing is. Doing very, very well with a lot of media coverage because he is a front man for the agencies. Having him pretend he's blowing the whistle on him. He's not telling you anything new.
Snowden? Really?
Snowden, yes.
Wow.
Even the name, Snowden. He is not telling you anything. But he's groomed by the media and the agencies to be the guy who's released everything, so you think there's nothing else to see. We know our phones are tapped, Mr. Snowden. We know they listen in. What you're not telling us is what people are dying for, and you're getting all this groomed and attention and media time. There's going to come a plan, I'm told. The plan is that he'll be reintroduced to the U.S. as a hero, and he'll help cover the agencies for what they've done. There'll be this reconciliation between the agencies and Snowden in the future. Welcome home, son. Because he worked for them. He's an operation for the agencies in America. Let that sink in. He's an operation, a black op. That's why he's so
And again,
coverage.
You know, we are looking at 80-20 here, right? I mean, we will get a lot of truth, but then that truth is filtered with a whole lot of crap as well. So
yes,
most people, you know, don't know what's true and what's not, who the infiltrators, who aren't, you know. And really, at the end of the day, sorry?
I'm sorry. I mean, learn to read people.
Yeah.
We have a God-given gift to spot genuine. That's why the other side uses trolls to say, oh, he looks like he's evil. His eyes look evil. Oh, they're trying to lead you into what they want you to believe because they're afraid of you believing what you actually see in your heart tells you at first. That's why they have a system, anonymous, as they call it. Anonymous is approach people later that see you and know who you are and see your heart. They say that, see your heart. They're approached later, told not to associate with you. He's evil, he's bad, That's why they're trying to shut it down. They're afraid of people having influence for a God-given ability of people to see who's genuine. And you know who sees it first? The children. The children,
always.
Animals see
and
it.
Animals. And animals.
Animals, that's what I'm saying. Animals and children see it best and clearest.
Yeah, absolutely.
See what I'm saying? So that's what they're concerned about. And I see it. I know it. I've learned to hone that. Snowden is plastic in a world that's supposed to be genuine in flesh. So, I mean, genuine, real heart, blood pumping. He is a clown cast for the way he is, presence, and all the tech behind him and all the mainstream media coverage and glory and grooming is the same as Keanu Reeves. Some of the two most groomed people in our history during these dark times are Snowden and Keanu Reeves and Musk. 3.
I was going to say Elon Musk is,
Elon Musk is plastic also. You can use the phrase plastic. They're Barbies. And they are promoted so much. If you went behind the scenes at the major networks, got a piece with or Elon Musk, let's use it. Let's get him out there. Keanu Reeves. Yeah. They very much the darlings of perpetrators. To misguide. Listen to them.
But that's all part of the deception, right? I mean, it's
Yes.
all such,
Yes.
The more bedazzled they are, the more they distract us from the truth of what's really going on, right?
The ones that don't give the answers they want end up like me. An example, ragged. Those that don't play the game are just, quote, destroyed. Those that play the game are rewarded as Elon Musk, Keanu Reeves, and Snowden. And there's more. I won't talk about it right now. There's more on the front line right now that disgust me, that are being groomed right in our face, taking credit for being some kind of heroes with the most ludicrous kind of graphics to display them as heroes and things like this. And I know who they are. And I'm watching it and my gut's turning as I watch the machine turn it out again. If it's too polished, if they come across too polished, and it's interesting, they're accusing me of being too polished. I am certainly not too polished. I am working from the mud up from what they've done, and still reeling from the loss of my boys. But these guys.
Belzy wants to know, which I've actually seen this question before as well. Is Keanu's girlfriend his handler? I think he's dating a woman that's quite a bit older than him. It's a
great question. Great question. Keanu Reeves right now, in the industry, they say he is a god. So they keep talking about being gods, right? That we're gods that rest of humanity wish they were us. I'm telling you what the inside talk is like. They wish they were us. Yeah, there's peons out there. So right now, from their viewpoint, right now, that's what they're trying to call me home to. You know what they say to me? You're actually a really cool guy, Tom. You're a cool guy. They like me being mean, nasty, and to hell with the rest of people out there. What do they say about the innocent? The innocent are food for the strong. Laws of nature. That's what I was told by the honeypot wife. So as far as Keanu Reeves' girlfriend, I believe right now what's going on is they're trying to match up a pair. And again, they say it in Black Sales. If you have a man and woman that are matched up to become king and queen, people will follow more the king and queen than the solo. So what you're seeing right now is they're trying to match him with somebody who people will identify with, and have a more powerful figures by uniting two who they cast together. It's decided ahead of time. I've seen women come to me that were cast to be with me when I was on the inside. They were supposed to work with me because they would look good with me. It's like casting a show. So I believe that's what's happening. It's a great question, but I believe
call the honeypots. Call the honeypots, right?
The honeypots are to handle you when you're on the outside. When you're on the inside, when you're on the inside, when you're coming home, as they say, you're given a woman that will be subservient to you if you're the man god. Isn't that something? And I have taped conversations where saying, Tom, you're actually God. You're actually Christ. You're actually that. They will tell you this. And so then you're to have a woman that's to be a subservient. What did Christine say to me when I was at Robertson's organization? I'm to be with you. She presented herself like she was some kind of offering. See? And it fits their system of hierarchy. If I'm outside the system destroyed, then the honeypot wife is applied, where she controls you, gaslights you, brings you down. The opposite is when you're in the system, one more time, in the system, just so I can make sure I make this clear, that woman is supposed to be under you to make you look good. The woman behind you, the woman standing, you're at the podium speaking, she's a couple steps behind you to be seen with you, the beautiful woman. Sound familiar? That's a set image. That's a stage image when you're on the inside. So right now, honeypot would be side by side and she's taking the focus. Inside, Tom is here, my woman's here. Steps back. It's choreographed that way.
Yeah.
The symbol is she's behind me. She's less than me. She's my support. Look how beautiful she is. Just look at how beautiful she is. And I'm the one you're to listen to. So she doesn't see. It's all stage choreographed. Anyway, great question.
Yeah. Wow.
Watch for that.
Indeed.
Watch for that. Watch for those setups where the woman's beautiful and slightly
Mm.
back. Watch for that now. Watch the coding and the way it's staged.
And a lot of these things, I mean, a lot of these things we're discovering, for example, if we what I saw recently was Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. Now it's come out he's gay, that he's had all these gay relationships, and she's this.
Oh,
They've had this.
please. All
You
right.
know,
Yes.
honestly, it's like if you want to be gay, be gay. But a lot of the Hollywood actors and actresses also, I think, what we're seeing is they marrying, as you say, they cast together to be performers for a certain role,
They
and
make you, break you, remake you. Will
mm,
Smith was supposed to be Neo. He was the one that was approached and a witness that the original screenplay was used, and that the Wachowskis didn't have a Matrix screenplay. In fact, their attorneys are on tape saying they didn't have any working drafts. Nothing. No notes, no working drafts. How'd you write it? This was on set, as a fight choreographer said. This was on set in hand, along with the storyboard 20-foot rule. Now, Will Smith was approached and told, "You want to be in this show?" He saw this. He's not supposed to talk. So Will Smith turned down the role because the Wachowskis didn't have a Matrix script. He said it was ridiculous. So then he started talking about it. So they had to destroy him. They had that scene where he was defamed. And now they're trying to they're doing the thing they did with the Wachowskis. Wachowskis were never supposed to put my high school, my birthday, my fiance's birthday, my dad's name, my name, all in the first graphic, right?
yeah,
And then block face with what we said, with, here they are doing this 7/2/59. They were in trouble for all this in Animatrix, so they had to be posed as women. So it sounds like Will Smith's getting the same treatment. The same treatment. You have to now be presented as gay. See what's happening? It's the punishment cycle. The punishment
yeah,
cycle. Because he's a witness to the fact that the work was not the Wachowskis. Same thing happened to George Michael. George Michael was killed in 2016 on Christmas. Affected by that. George Michael killed in 2016 on Christmas. His heart gave out, they said. Here, twice in the series, it says his heart gave out when the person's killed. So George Michael's killed 2016 on Christmas. Why? Because he's a witness when the case is thrown in 2016 that this work was done in 1993. How do we know that? Because the last page, like we said, the last page right here, I'm going to hold it up. George Michael praying for time, final credits. George Michael read the full screenplay and okayed it. He's a witness that the work was done in 1993 when Warner Bros. Was trying to state that it was not done until 1996 because the Wachowskis don't put Matrix title to 1996. And this was done in 1993, proving it was ripped off. George Michael was the main witness and the biggest witness in Hollywood that could say, I saw the work in 1993. So they killed him on Christmas when the case was thrown. They wrapped up the loose end by killing him on Christmas and said his heart gave out. See what's going on? So right now it also tells you that the biggest fear they have is the Immortals screenplay. You have me on right now. It's going to shake up their world even further. They panic easily. They knee-jerk reaction. So right now what you've done individually and with your beautiful audience is just sent chills through the whole pedophile kingdom. Congratulations. You've made a difference. Because they're saying this work right here, Tom, come home, Tom, come home. Because they say this will change the world. They say it's changed the world. And one more time, I want to say it before we go. The blue pill is the good pill. The red pill is the bad pill. They reversed it to snow you. Anybody who says they're red pilled, you are saying that the blood of the children, the pill that was used with the blood of the children at the end of the program, is a good pill. They've snowed you. They've snowdened you.
yeah.
The blue pill is the good pill. The blue pill is from the eye of the author. So you can whisper, he whispers through art so you can see what he saw at the parties, what's happening to the children, and everything else, whispering through art. So if you say the blue pill is the good pill, you will scare the trash out of the pedophile kingdom, out of the agencies that support them. Start saying it. The blue pill's the good, your blue pill. The blue pill's the good pill. The red pill's the bad pill. They reverse it.
Hashtag blue pill's the good pill.
Thank you for this today. I'm so I shouldn't apologize for being emotional. I wish men could be more in touch with their feelings anyway. We need to break the mold if you can.
No, I love the talk today, and I'm pretty sure each and every one of our our viewers did as well. We've had lots of messages. I've been trying to watch them at the same time and trying to kind of sort of like catch up with pop in whatever questions we could there. But I want to just say, Tom, thank you. It's a pleasure to have you on as always. And I know we've got some plans. So
Good
we're
ones.
going to be doing some things to access, for everyone to access their creative genius, because that is truly how we escape the matrix and set ourselves free, is through all of us discovering the creative genius within us.
Yeah.
And you are the one who has the keys to show us all how. We all have it in us. We just need it to be unlocked. Right?
That's right. And what I would give for homework for people watching, if I may, is be vibrant, be happy, connect with your loved ones. The things that matter in the end is the moments you shared with those you cared about most.
Absolutely.
That's success in life. And if you're happy and vibrant together, you've beaten Hollywood. They want to make it look like you can't be without them. Turn them off. Forget about celebrities. Be happy in your family, your loved ones, and celebrate life together and be happy, and you beat them. And then we'll get the work done. Then we'll be creative.
I always said, I'm the celebrity in my own life.
You are a celebrity worthy of celebration. And the Hollywood system has it wrong. They've taken the dregs and made them celebrities. They taken the failed and made them celebrities. Not to bang on doors too much, but Matthew McConaughey was discovered in a bar. You know, these poster children that we're supposed to revere are the ones that were the dregs of society. And then they're supposed to look all benevolent. They're scripted on what they're supposed to say. They're accusing us of being scripted. There is no way we could script what we just talked about. Where would we be? Anyway, thank you, Chantelle. Thank you for this. And yes, we're gonna do some good work.
We're gonna kick some ass. Anyway, guys and girls, I want to say thank you so much. Another brilliant conversation with Tom. And Tom, I think I'll have you back next week, not every second week. How about that? Do we have a date, Tom? Do we have a date?
Let's see. So let's see. We're looking.
Ladies, gentlemen, should I set up a date with Tom for next week?
I would love to join you.
Say in the comments yes or no. Say in the comments yes or no.
Let's finish the job.
This job's never finished. It's an ongoing creative process.
We are scaring the other side so badly. We also proved their machine doesn't work. It was supposed to destroy us. It didn't.
Yeah,
here we are.
We're reversing their machine. We're reversing their machine.
And I want to tell you too, when the original work is made, when we make the Immortals with the permission of those that are in charge of George Michael's estate, I want to do Praying for Time for the end credits, not Rage Against the Machine. I want to do Praying for Time. Wait till you hear how it lines up with the actual story. So in tribute to the man who lost his life over this cause, protecting children. All right. So what day do you want? And we'll go for it.
We do next week the same time. Okay. We'll keep it as a Tuesday 6:30 for now. I don't know what time it is.
6:30. Okay, Tuesday.
Shanti time is 6:30 p.m. Okay. Tom time. I don't know Tom. What is Tom time?
11:30 a.m. So I'm 11:30. You're 6:30.
11:30 a.m. Tom time, and Tom is in Texas time, right? Are you in Texas?
Right outside Houston. That's right.
Tom's in Texas time, and Shanti's in Cat time, Central African time.
That's right. And so I say to people, you can say, I celebrate life. I will not fear. I will not live in fear. I celebrate life. Say that every day. You will not live in fear. I celebrate life. And you beat them. We're going to beat them. Okay. Love you so much, guys. Thank you, Chantelle.
Love you guys. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Like, share, subscribe, please. This is really important information to get out. And it also just keeps the algorithms. Well, our channels are very shadow banned, in case you guys haven't figured that out by now. But I do understand it gets to the right people. But yeah, you know, and so obviously the more you share, like, comment, whatever, it keeps the algorithms up. So thank you, Tom, from the bottom of my heart. Sure. Thank you to all our beautiful viewers and listeners out there. We really, really appreciate you. And as always, thank you to our Patreons. Guys, you keep the nuts and the bolts of this channel going. And I want to just say thank you to each and every one of you. Truly, truly grateful. God bless you all. We will see you soon. Oh, tomorrow's Wednesday. Yes, I'll see you with Jessie as well as Bryce tomorrow. Busy week, everybody. Take it easy. Bye, Tom. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.